The Keyhole. Darkness surrounds me as I wake. Darkness extends in all directions around me. My world is nothing but darkness. I grope around, trying to get my bearings as to what is going on, or where I might be. Within a few feet, my hands hit wooden walls. There is not much room here for me to move around, probably 3 or 4 feet in one direction, about twice that in the other. There are things that I keep bumping into, soft fabric that moves and sways as I push on it. Clothes? Am I in a closet? I continue to search my surroundings with my hands. I find I can partially stand, moving the coats or whatever they are off to the side, but I'm bent over uncomfortably. Suddenly, I hear someone scream through the door. I open my mouth to cry out, but I process her words first. "No, please don't," she screams, and I hear her footfalls rapidly come closer. I hear a loud bang, and a pinpoint of light pierces the darkness that has become my world. I scramble over to the keyhole, trying to see my surroundings. A single light bulb swings to and fro in the hallway beyond the room I'm in. The woman is sprawled on the floor, struggling to find purchase in the gloom. Looking around, I see this room contains nothing but horror. Bodies stacked upon bodies, too many to count. The corpses were dismembered, and many are stripped to the bone. I don't know how many people have been left down here to rot, but I can only imagine the depravity that led to this. I find that I try to speak, but my mouth is dry and my words have failed me. The woman is crying and screaming for help. I try to slam the door open, but find that it is unyielding. A hideous moan echoes through the hall and room when the light is suddenly cut off. A hulking brute stands in the door, blocking nearly all of the light. It has to duck its bulbous head as it paws the door frame, finding its way through methodically. The woman stifles her sobs, but she slips and bones clatter around her as she tries to stand. The creature bellows and charges straight for her. A malformed hand with 3 fingers grabs the woman by the shoulder and lifts her into the air. She kicks and screams, but the other hand drives hard into her chest, knocking the air from her lungs. The creature takes hold of her neck, and with a sickening twist, snaps it with minimal effort. I fall back against the closet wall. The creature moves, blocking my only light through the keyhole and knocking a few other bones around. In the darkness, I hold my breath. Without any further noise, I can only assume the creature figured that a skeleton collapsed. A grunt sounds in the room as the creature lumbers away. I carefully move back to the keyhole and see it groping in the room for the door. This creature must be blind. Whatever the creature is, and wherever I am, I know now I must escape. I try again to push on the door, but find that I can't get it to budge. It doesn't feel locked. It feels as if the door is barred. Perhaps there's bodies against it. I shift around, bracing my arms against the back wall and pushing with my feet against the door. Finally, success! The door budges only an inch, just barely opening past the door frame, but it's enough to let some fresh air in. I almost immediately regret it, as the putrid stench of rot comes in too. Looking through the extra space, I can see this charnel house of decay is even worse than I realized. I see a stack of several dozen rib cages, all tangled together. A cleaver sticks out of one of the bones. What sort of creatures are these? I try to look around and get my bearings as to where I might be. The floor appears to be tan and white tiles, forming a sort of checkerboard pattern underneath the carcasses. The walls are wood paneling, painted almost eggshell in color, splattered now with blood and viscera. The room reminds me of a basement playroom. Under normal circumstances, I wouldn't be surprised to see a pool table or beanbag chairs in place of the remains that litter the room. Looking at the hallway, I can see similar wood paneling and the same tile floor. A shape covers the doorway as I see another lumbering brute walk past the door. It drags a lumpy hand on the wall and bumps the light bulb as it passes. It swats at the light bulb, knocking it back and forth as it moves, but it finally gives me a chance to see these creatures clearly. They have fat, flabby bodies, dragged on short, stumpy legs that don't appear to have knees. Their feet look to have 3 toes, as their hands match in number of digits. Their face is one of nightmares. Flabby flesh folds cover where their eyes should be, and large folds of flesh form ears far larger than any human's. Large oval mouths that seem to writhe and remain open are filled with hook-like teeth. It stumbles past my awful-filled room, paying me no heed. I collapse back on the floor of my closet, exhausted by the effort of trying to get the door open only an inch. I close my eyes for just a moment. I don't know how long I slept for, but I feel as though I've barely regained any energy. I try to stretch and ready myself for another attempt to open the door. Perhaps if I can gain a few more inches, I can squeeze out and escape. Bracing myself again, I start to push when I hear the heavy footfalls slapping in the corridor. I freeze and hold my breath. It's dragging something along with those footfalls. I slowly turn, pulling myself up to look through the keyhole again. The lumbering creature is dragging corpses and throws them into the room. One slams into the closet door, closing it again. Try as I might, I can't make it budge. There is simply too much weight against the door now. I bring my knees to my chest and find tears streaming down my face. I don't know if I'll ever get out of here alive. Days pass, or maybe hours. I can't tell, only having a single light shining through the keyhole. My stomach is knotting itself up in hunger while I wait in this closet. I think back to the moment that I first saw the brute. Whatever they are, they work quickly, faster than hunger or thirst. Steeling myself, I stand and face the door. I start knocking.